Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Wednesday. And hopefully, the audio on the Monday video wasn't too horrible. I forgot to put the microphone on. So, today we're going to use the wisdom of the Oracle to get our topic. And we have got Between Worlds. Monday we talked about making the hard choices and leaving situations that no longer serve you. And one of the reasons we don't like to do that is because we like predictability, we like consistency, but it puts us between worlds. From where we were to where we're going is an uncomfortable liminal space. We don't like that. However, look at the card. If you're somewhere where you are not being treated with the respect you deserve, you're not happy, you're not being seen, you're not being valued. See that? Do you want to stay there? I don't think so. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but wouldn't you rather be here? There is a transition space in between, and that's that wave on the ocean. It's not the whole ocean, it's a temporary moment of discomfort, a temporary emotion. And riding that out, trusting that on the other side of it, it's going to be better. Who wants to stay here? Live the Technicolor life. Give yourself what you need. Quit waiting for others to do it. Don't stay where you're not wanted, where you're not seen and respected. Because when we allow that treatment, we insult ourselves at a soul level. And even though it can be hard to walk away from a job you've had for years that's been your stability, your income. You like your coworkers, but you're not making the money you need. You're not getting the recognition you deserve. You don't feel valued for what you bring to the table. And this can be a relationship, a friendship. You know, it's across the board. What we allow is what we receive. And when we know we deserve better, the longer we stay here, the more it affects our sense of who we are and how we see our own value. Don't let outside opinions dictate your value. That comes from here. And when you know and hear your worth and your value and what you bring to the table, you will not be okay with that. And again, no matter what the situation is, when you understand that you are not receiving what you need, desire, or want, when you stop accepting that and you absolutely shut the door on this black and white bullshit, you open up for the color. You start to show. And we talked about this a little bit on Monday, but if you really look at this is what you're showing the world. You're showing your ass. You're not showing the world your true value when you're in situations where you're accepting less. You are forgetting who you are and what you're worth. And when you accept less than your worth, you don't shine. You diminish. You dim. You dim from the inside out. And the longer you stay there, the more you dim, and the longer it takes to come back to who you are and recognizing that what the hell? Because a lot of times it's a slow process. Things start out where you do feel seen and acknowledged and valued, cherished, whether by an employer, by a friend, by family, by whoever, whatever the situation may be for you. And slowly, 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 it stops giving. That situation stops giving to you. And you adjust. You adjust because it's slow and you don't realize that this is happening. And all of a sudden, you look in the mirror one day and you're like, who in the fuck is this? Because you have changed the way you carry yourself, the way you feel about yourself, what you're willing to accept. And you get what you accept until you don't. When you stop accepting less than you deserve and you remember who you are and you raise those standards, people will either meet you or leave. Jobs will either meet you or you leave, because when you leave, you win. Whether they step up or you move on, you win because you're no longer accepting less than you deserve. You're no longer putting up with bullshit from an employer, from a family member, from, excuse yourself from what doesn't serve you. Now, does that mean it's forever? Maybe not. But don't wait to see. Move on. You've been there. You've tried that. And obviously, you were not respected in the way that you deserve to be respected. And if at some later date that job wants to come back and say, look, we just realized that since you've been gone, this project has gone to shit. We'd like to offer you a new benefits package and a new compensation if you're willing to come back. Okay, well, if you see my value and you're willing to compensate me adequately for it, I will come back. And if they stop, because that's another thing. That's another thing. You got to be careful when you reopen that door, if you choose to reopen that door, because a lot of times it's just a hook to get you back. Make sure it's going to be consistent. Like with an employer, have that shit on paper. Make it contractual. Like, we're both signing this bitch, or I'm not coming back. Uh, in a relationship, if you have left because you're not receiving the treatment you deserve, don't go back. Just because they showed up with a loaf of bread today, they want you to come back so they can start siphoning your energy and stop giving again. Sometimes it's a trap. Sometimes they actually do recognize your value and they want to be that person for you, but can they? Do they have it in them? A queen or a king does not need a page. If they can show up as your equivalent, as someone with your emotional maturity, your ability to give and receive, have some equality, equal reciprocity, invest equally, that's different. But you can't go back a week later and expect it to have changed. Same with the job, same with the family member. There has to be time. There has to be time. Sometimes that space is what's required for your value to be seen. Do not think you need that job or that person or whatever and be willing to lower your standards because you insult yourself. You insult yourself and you will actually end up angry at you. You got to live with you forever. Don't be angry at you. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Step it up. Raise the bar. Know your value. And we talked Monday about ways that you can show up for yourself to establish that trust in you that you've got you. You don't need anything outside of you. When we start to believe that our worth is dictated by what we're receiving from others, we're going to start feeling real bad about ourselves because not everyone is capable of being the person that can meet you where you're at. And if they aren't capable of doing that, then don't settle. Who wants mediocrity? Who wants a half-ass investment in a relationship? You could invest in yourself fully. So why are you going to accept half-ass from an employer, from a partner, a family member, a friend? Generally, it's just to serve their purpose. If they get you in a position where you feel less than and you want to prove yourself, because that's something that it's a reaction for most of us. It's from childhood. When somebody devalues us, We have this drive to prove ourselves, prove our worth, and that leads into the overgiving and putting yourself in a lesser position. Don't do that shit. Straighten your crown. Remember who you are. Hey, sorry, the dogs are something else right now. Cricket, quit, quit. It's raining and she's terrified of rain and storms. She has a blackout autism tent, but now she wants to be in the closet. So, anyway, when we accept other people's definition of our worth, generally speaking, they have devalued us and put us on clearance so that we try to prove who we are. Don't prove yourself to anyone but you. Same with an employer. Have you ever had a job where you felt like you weren't being seen, you weren't being recognized, and you put in extra time, you stay over? Okay, that makes you easy. Same in a relationship. If you're going to give while they receive, and every so often throw you a little something, very little something, don't do that. Don't do that to you. Don't allow someone to put you in that position by taking what they see as your worth as the truth. Be willing to be in this discomfort, temporary discomfort, because once you leave this behind, the depression, the negativity, the feelings of not enough, the lack of power, the lack of identity, you lose yourself over here. That's why it's gray. You feel confused. You don't have clarity because you don't understand why you're being treated the way you are. When you make the decisions to no longer allow people to treat you less than you deserve, and you actually step into being that person again, because we can lose ourselves, we can lose our sense of value because we're looking outside of us for validation. Validation comes from within, and from consistently knowing that you can trust yourself to be there for you, treating yourself right, making the hard choices. When you quit letting yourself down, you quit letting other people let you down too. Because if you treat you better than they do, what are they there for? That's when you step over here and you're shining. You're no longer dimming your light to fit in somewhere where you never were meant to be. You're shining that bitch bright, and people know. They see who you are and how you feel about yourself. And it's not about your appearance. It's not about the car you drive, the house you have. That's all outside stuff. This is about how you feel on the inside about you, and that radiates out. You, if you've ever walked into a room and you see that person whose energy is just so solid and they occupy space, not because they're trying to, but because they know what they bring to the table. You are that person. And if you haven't found that part of you yet, go on a journey. Take some time to yourself to remember who you are. Get in your own energy. Take some, like, legit take time away from people in your life who you may not really feel secure with, that you're not sure what's going on with them, that you're not getting the treatment you used to or you feel you should. Again, no matter what that situation is for you, if you feel like you're losing your sparkle, you're losing your stability over a connection, remove yourself. Take time to be in your own energy, to reflect on what happened that caused me to get to this place. What did I allow? How did I lessen myself? Where did I dim my light? Where did I start believing that that was okay? And then visit those places within you. Reestablish your sense of value and stability, your sense of who you are. and start to shine again. This between worlds, this liminal space where you are reaching a point of acceptance that this is the behavior that I contributed to this situation. And while you're in this in between spot, understand why you behaved like that. What did you think you needed from this situation, from this person? Where did you allow lesser treatment? When did you start stepping down and thinking it was okay? Really pinpoint those moments and what was happening inside of you, because those are the wounds that you needed to look at. Those are the beliefs that are causing you to accept less than you deserve. Really address those situations. It could be from another dynamic, from your childhood, from old wounds that are still in there. And right now, especially, we are at a place where energetically, because you know I like my astrology, we're at a point of drawing the line and saying no more bullshit and really stepping into our greatest selves and our greatest lives. And until we are willing to say no more to less than treatment, we won't get here. When you finally decide that your self worth and your self value means more to you than the connections that aren't recognizing it, you'll stay here. When you realize you don't need someone who drains your energy, diminishes you, don't. You don't need that influence in your life, whether it's your employer, your family member, your significant other. Make them your insignificant other just like they did you. Make yourself your best partner. And once you get stable in that, when you fill your own cup, when you are your own stability, when you are the strength that you need, when you realize, I don't need a partner because I've got me. I don't need this job because other employers will recognize what I bring to the table. You know what? You may be my family member, but if this is love, I can do without it. And like I said Monday, you can love you better than anyone else can. And until you do, you won't get the treatment you deserve. So look at the gray areas of your life and take some time to really think about, is this serving me? Am I just here because it was comfortable? Because it's easy? Because it's routine? Because it feels safe? Does it really feel safe to be devalued? That's not safe. Not at all. Hey, sorry. I finally plugged the microphone in and the dog decides she wants in the closet. So I apologize for the background noise. And you know what? That's what this is. It's background noise. Letting people be in your head, letting their opinions dictate how you feel about you. You don't need those people. If they don't see your worth, don't try to prove it to them. Don't diminish yourself trying to show your value to people who aren't able to see it. If they can't meet you where you're at, go somewhere else. Meet yourself. Have your own back. They've already proven that they don't. And again, whatever the situation may be for you, quit trying. Quit giving them your back. Only let them see your back as you walk away to go over here where you're appreciated, where you get the treatment that you deserve. And that doesn't mean from another person. That means from you. You give yourself this. You provide this world for yourself, and you'll find that you attract the people who see your value. You don't need to prove yourself, but it won't happen until you stop accepting scraps. You're not a dog. You bring a lot to the table. You don't just need to get what falls off of it when other people are done. Okay? You set your own table, eat a good meal, and feel solid in your value. You will start to attract the best things into your life that were always meant to be there when you let go of the things that were not. And sometimes, like I said, we just get comfortable and we start to slowly diminish ourselves to fit into a place where we're not being valued. And if we stay there too long, we really start to believe that. And it takes a lot longer to get through that liminal space because you got to build yourself back up. Don't stay where you're not desired. Take their lack of appreciation as a sign that you don't belong there. Appreciate yourself. Create stability, trust, and security in you, and beautiful things will come to you. It's worth the liminal space. It's worth the transition period. It's worth that wave of discomfort on the ocean of your life to spend the rest of your life here, not here. So think about it today. What are the gray areas? Where are you not getting the treatment you deserve? Where are you not feeling valued? And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to accept it? Or are you going to go somewhere where you're appreciated? I hope it's the latter, because you are worth it. And once you stop accepting less than you deserve, you start to get what you do deserve. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.